What up? Welcome in everybody to another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we always start the show off by being transparent. And yesterday was a pretty good day. We went 3-0 in the association. Reeves cashed his assists. Randall cashed his rebounds plus assists. And then I took the Brooklyn and Milwaukee game over 220 and a half. And that also got there. So good day. That Jalen Brown got, we just got our money back because he didn't play. So overall, good day. Feel like it's been a little bit since I've talked to my friend Rob Veno. It's good to have you on. How have you been?
I've been good, buddy. No complaints here because things are going well. I think it has been a while since I've been on with you. I don't think we were on at all this week. And since the last time we talked, I remember talking about since December 1st, it had been a really good run. It's even better now. Since December 1st, all sports were up like 62.3 units. Number one in college football over there at Wagertalk. Number one in NBA over there during that time span. So I'm not complaining. Hopefully we don't wake up from this one, buddy, and this dream just keeps going on because it's been pretty good. Seeing it clear.
Yeah, very nice work on that. 61 units. Is that what you said?
Yeah, this morning, in fact, I got a little bit scolded for not having the right number in my promo. 62.3 as I read it here since December 1st.
That's some nice work right there, Vino. So let's see if we can talk these games out and find some winners. We got quite a bit of games, so should be able to find something here. We'll start with Hornets and Pistons. Not a game I want to spend a ton of time on, but Pistons opened 5.5-point favorites and moved up to 7. The total moved about 5 points from 214.5 as high as 219.5. You have Fontecchio out, Ivy out for this Detroit team, and then you have LaMelo and Brandon Miller both game time decision for the Hornets. I mean, if LaMelo and Brandon Miller aren't playing, it's absolutely no way for me to look at the Hornets. But Pistons -7, damn, that feels kind of rich. I think if I'm betting anything in this game, I would just bet on Cade. I'm just unsure which way I would prefer to do it. I think he can score as much as he like. I think a lot of the playmaking would be, they'll be relying on him for a lot of the playmaking, especially without Ivy. So I'm kind of torn between points, assists, maybe points and assists, but I think Cade is somebody that I should be playing on in this game. Anything from you on Hornets and Pistons, Vino?
Well, first thing is I can't understand the move towards the over if we don't know if LaMelo and Brandon Miller are playing yet. That just doesn't make any sense to me why you push this thing 5 points. And as I say that, it would seem that if you're going to push the total up, they would be in, right? But if they were in, the Pistons wouldn't go up point spread wise. So the whole thing doesn't make a lot of sense to me, Skee. I'd rather wait and see what this injury report shows. If LaMelo is in the game, I usually like Hornets overs when he's involved. They get up and down. We said it a zillion times. Everybody knows it. It's a quicker team. It's probably a higher scoring team and a little bit less on the defensive end because of the pace. You get more opportunities. But no Jaden Ivey on the other side as well makes it tough to get to this over right now. If it were me, I'm thinking to myself, why wouldn't I be playing under at this point? But you know me, it's very hard to get me to say under or put money up for under. So I'm going to wait it out and see where this injury report leads. Of course, by waiting it out, you're going to get the wrong end of the line because the injury chasers will be there before I will. And, we'll have to probably pay a different price. But it just seems like this thing's all backwards the way it looks, the way the line movement has gone.
I'm in agreement with you on that. So we'll keep going down the list. This one, another one I don't want to spend too much time on. Orlando and Toronto. Magic are a 1.5-point favorite here, just like the opener. Another one where the total went up a couple points, went up 2 points to 216.5. RJ Barrett looks like he's doubtful. The Magic, missing a lot of guys still. Franz, Paolo, Gary Harris. Then you have Black and Queen, both game time decision. Queen is probable. But when I look at the Raptors, I just think absolutely no defense. I think no defense, and I think pace. So even though it's the Magic, I have a slight lean towards the over, but that's about it. What do you think about Magic and Raptors, Vino?
I agree, and I'll just add to it that with Emmanuel quickly back, that pace gets even more with Toronto. back the other night and had 21 points. And he played a pretty decent amount of minutes. I don't have the minutes or the box in front of me, but I know he played a pretty good number of minutes for a first game back. So quickly on the floor, Toronto's a up-tempo team anyway, fairly high-scoring team, and like you say, zero defense on that side. This number looks low, even though it is Orlando. There's a question mark next to Anthony Black, which I'm going to assume that he plays in this game, but they've got enough guys still that can get the ball in the basket against this type of defense. So to me, I thought 216 was low. I'm there with you. I think over is the right way.
All right, we're in agreement on that game. We'll keep going down the list to Knicks and Thunder. And this one opened up Thunder -5. Looks like 4.5 right now. The total, though, went from 220.5 to 223. I did, last night, Brunson and McBride were both questionable. Looks like both are still questionable here. And same guys who've been out for OKC remain out. Both of these teams, have been playing really well. I don't know the exact win streak number, but both of them are on big win streaks. And it's telling with the line because OKC is usually a big favorite and they have no problem blowing people out. This OKC team, though, now playing their fifth game in 7 days, just played last night. Knicks with the rest advantage. If you were to get a healthy Knicks team, I would think they can compete. And also, I would be looking towards not that it's revenge, but I would be looking to try to play something on Hardenstein. I'm not sure which way to go, but versus old team, I know he'll be motivated. And when I was watching the game yesterday, it seemed like they were kind of saving his minutes for today. So I'm kind of conflicted. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, they saved everybody's minutes, right, Skee? When I checked the box this morning, everybody, there were like 9 guys between 14 and 30 minutes, and it wasn't a taxing game, right? They had the Clippers basically from wire to wire. Was never really that close, unlike a team like Boston that was pushed by Minnesota yesterday and is in back-to-backs tonight, OKC. Their depth just allows them to do stuff like that, limit minutes. Here's one where the line movement and the total movement makes me believe Jalen Brunson will play here tonight. There's been a slight move towards the Knicks, 5 down to 4.5. And like you say, there was a 3-point push upward in the total, 220 to 223. I think if Jalen Brunson plays, I want the Knicks in this game. And that's no disrespect towards Oklahoma City. I just think the Knicks, you mentioned they're both on good streaks. I think OKC is 13 straight. The Knicks are 9 straight. And the Knicks are playing absolutely tremendous basketball right now. Both ends. They're very efficient offensively. This Karl Anthony Towns thing has really worked out for them. OG Anunoby, I remember when he came over last year and we talked about how he picked up their defense. That defense seems to be picking up a little bit again. So I think this is a huge game for both sides. I would have thought, or I would have liked New York even more if, in fact, OKC had to play meaningful minutes. They didn't. That's my only concern here, is that they should be fairly fresh, even if it's 5 and 7, with the way they disperse things. And the second thing I'll say, the second reason why I like the Knicks kind of is, you mentioned Hartenstein. They just don't have enough on the boards. A lot of times he has to do way too much in not enough minutes. And the Knicks probably get to the boards pretty well here against them. Josh Hart's been an absolute monster last couple of games. I think he posted triple doubles back-to-back, right? Rebounds have been big for him. So they're a tough team on the glass. I think that might help New York here. I think plus 4.5 is the way I would look.
And on that note, Josh Hart could be a play on, whether it's double-double. I think his rebound number was 8.5. I mean, he's been doing it lately. I don't see why he can't do it again tonight. I do want to ask you, though, do you agree with this move up in the total?
I actually don't. Because
I don't either.
I think you'll get both teams can play really good defense. There's no question about it. And I feel the reason why I say I don't think it should go over, Skee, or I would lean towards under, is because I feel like it's going to take on a playoff atmosphere. It's a Friday night game. It's 2 teams that have big expectations. It's 2 teams that are going real well at this point in time. So I would expect a little bit more intensity. And when I think of intensity regular season, that usually means on a defensive end. So I don't really agree with this total, but it's probably pushed again because people anticipate Brunson coming back. We know how this works. These injury things dictate everything nowadays, not necessarily the fundamentals, which is what you and I will talk about here.
Yeah, Brunson back, that doesn't scare me off. I mean, they're gonna play slow with Brunson in there. If Brunson was rolled in and McBride was rolled out, I would like the under even more. I'll just say like that. Or if both of them were rolled out, I guess I would like it as well. But McBride is more like an over player. I guess that's what I'm saying. And Brunson, he's still gonna take up some of that clock. So I'll keep my eye on this one, that injury report as the day goes on, and we'll see if I get involved. Celtics and Rockets opened up Celtics -3.5. They're down to a 2-point favorite. Total moved about a half point down to 220.5. As far as injuries are concerned, Jaylen Brown and Porzingis both game time decision once again today. They did miss yesterday's game. And Eason is doubtful. Thompson is out. Landale is game time. So Boston, definitely at the rest disadvantage here playing last night. Rockets, it's actually their fourth game in 6 nights, I believe, for the Celtics too. Rockets with the rest advantage at the house where they've been playing good basketball, and I know they've played since then already, but it is Udoka facing his old team too. So I know this Rockets team will be ready. I look at what the Rockets have done so far this season. At home in the first half specifically, they're 12-4 ATS. So I expect them to come out here energized, playing for their coach as well, and throw the first punch. I like the Rockets first half. What do you think about this game, Veno?
I would disagree because I like the Rockets in general in this game. I love your point about Udoka. I was just talking about that on the Wagertalk NBA show. They got 2 shots at Boston last year with him as their head coach. They didn't win either. But he's got the horses now to beat this team, especially in the second of back-to-backs where Jason Tatum was asked to do a ton last night, 38 minutes worth of work. I think Drew Holiday also had 36 or 38 minutes worth of work. So your 2 main guys. It's possible Jaylen Brown maybe comes back, but Boston's so interchangeable, right? It's generally when one guy comes back, they just sit another or rest another. So you don't know who's going to be out there for Boston. I do know that Houston, energy-wise, will probably be there from the opening tip, and I just don't know that Boston will. Now, Boston shot incredibly well last night against Minnesota, 50% from the floor. They made 22 threes. Houston, as it was just pointed out to me by our colleague Andy Lang, Houston's one of the better 3-point defensive teams in the league. Yes, so Boston's volume shooting from beyond the arc could be that percentage could be lower tonight. Yeah, considerably lower tonight because it's contested. And so those are just a bunch of reasons to like the Rockets here. Home floor, as you mentioned, the numbers have been really, really good. I like them full game, but I wouldn't argue first half either. Boston, they win the free throw line last night, Skee. They went to the line 22 times. The other side went there 6. So it ended up in a 20-4 plus 16-point difference on the scoreboard. And you wonder how Minnesota won the free throw battle. You wonder how they couldn't win that game because Minnesota also made over 23s, shot 50%, as I mentioned, plus 14 or 16 on the free throw line. But Boston only committed 3 turnovers. I feel like Houston defensively can cause some havoc here. I like the Rockets full game. But again, I wouldn't talk you off a first half either.
All right, we're in agreement on this one. Let's keep going down the list. And this is one, man. I won't be putting somebody would really have to sell me, make me bet this one. Pelicans open 5.5. They're now a 7-point favorite. And the total went up from 231.5. Now it looks like 233. Bagley, Sadiq Bey, and Bilal all out for the Pelicans. No Ingram, no Zion. Rob, the Wizards are terrible. But goddamn it, can we lay 7 points with the Pelicans? They play a little better since they're healthy, but I mean, the Pelicans have 5 wins. The Wizards have 6. Can we lay 7 with the Pelicans?
I can't. It's funny because as I was mentioning before, I just got off the Wagertalk NBA show, and I was on with Andy Lang, who had a same game parlay on this particular game. And Joe was like, hey, all right, everybody who wants tickets to that game can watch that. But he had some player props in there that he followed that, it totally made sense to me. I don't bet the player props. I'm a side and totals guy, mostly totals. And I just don't know. You look at this, it's 233. I guess I could get to over between these two. Nobody's going to play much defense here. Jordan Poole, almost 12 3-pointers per game he's putting up. It's like he thinks he's open every 15 seconds. If they fall, it's great. If they don't, it's an under. I have no interest because I liked a couple other games better, but that's the only way I could possibly even start to look Skee is maybe I would look over just because I wouldn't expect a lot of defense out of either side.
All right, I'll rock with you on that. A couple guys in the chat liking some player props. So, and a couple guys saying Pelicans playing for the city as well. I see Poole over 3.5 threes for carry on. You already mentioned how many he's taking. I can see that. Brandon Boston over 7.5 points. Sar has been playing well, over 13.5 points and assists. My guy Dream in the building says Valanciunas over 18.5 points plus rebounds. Revenge game, and he's hit this 4 of his last 5. Only played 23 plus minutes once. Pels also bleed rebounds to bigs. They're small. Pause. Appreciate that look. I wasn't even thinking about that, but definitely could be a look there. Appreciate you, Dream. And he reminds everybody to hit the like button too. Appreciate that. Definitely helps out the show. Let's keep going down the list. This next game is a lot better. I wish there was Luka Doncic, but it is what it is. Cavs open -6. They're now -7. And the total went up like 3 points from 228.5 to 231.5. Injuries, like I said, we already know Luka is out, Exum out, Najee's out. PJ Washington and Maxi Kleber are both game time decision. Sam Merrill is doubtful. No Okoro, no Travers. Man, the Cavaliers, they look like a well-oiled machine, and they've been able to win by margin, no problem. It is very hard for me to look any other way than the Cavaliers, but I'll say the last couple games the Mavs played without Luka didn't look like how they were playing earlier in the season without Luka. I think they'll try to get back to that, playing a little bit faster, and they were playing some high-scoring games early in the year without Luka. Cavaliers more than capable of scoring. Feel like they've been lighting it up lately. I lean over, but I didn't play it yet. Do you have anything here?
Yeah, just to your point about the Mavericks offense, Skee, for the last 5 games, 100 points or less scored by the Mavericks, which isn't really them. I would look only Cleveland. I think there's an additional motivational angle here for the Cavs. They're on this 4-game road swing where they've already won the first 3. And I think a team like that wants to conclude this thing with 4 straight wins. They've beaten Denver by 14, to your point about winning by margin. They've beaten Golden State by 18. They've beaten the Lakers by 12. 3 double-digit wins on a West Coast trip is pretty impressive. Come here to Dallas. They do get them without Luka. I kind of feel like you feel where with Kyrie, they'll go quicker, Dallas, but that is not helpful against Cleveland this year. Cleveland, you want to get into a scoring match with them, you're probably going to lose. And if, in fact, PJ and Maxi Kleber don't play for the Mavericks, that's a couple of guys that make threes and play decent defense. So I wouldn't be on Dallas here, even though it's a home game. I think there's a lot of not only the fundamental stuff where Cleveland's been playing well, but the motivational angle of getting through a 4-game road trip 4-0 is pretty strong here. So I would look Cleveland's way.
All right, we'll keep going. We have 3 more games. We look like we can get through them all here, Veno. Spurs and Nuggets. This is one we talked about on the head of the spread last night with Caban. Get open 233.5. And I think last night when we were talking about it, it was already at 235.5. And now it's up to 237, 237.5. So it keeps going up. Sohan out for the Spurs. Aaron Gordon out. Vince out for the Nuggets. The Nuggets lately, Veno, I mean, Jesus, they can score on anybody, but they give it up. I mean, none of their games have landed under 250. Um, Here we go. What? 259, 253, 255, 284. Like God, I, I can only look towards the over in this game. I know the Spurs have been kind of the opposite. They haven't been playing games in this range, but I just feel like that's the way the Nuggets are playing. And them playing at home, they're going to be playing with their pace, not the Spurs pace. It's going to be buckets, no defense. If you look at it, number one offensive rated team last 5 games, and fourth worst defensive rated team. Only way I can go is over here. What do you think?
I'm just counting up here, Skee. 10 of their last 11, Denver has shot 50% or better from the field. They just don't really miss. And the 3-point shooting is there. And it's interesting because, you know me, I like to read all these coaches' quotes. And there's only been a couple over the course of these last, 8-10 games. But they're playing right through Michael Malone's noise about a little bit of defense. Denver just doesn't care. It's so funny to see them as the 5th fastest paced team in the NBA right now, after watching them be 30th or 29th for so many years, slow but efficient. Now they're fast and efficient at the same time. If you're going to go fast and you're going to score and you're not going to come back and play defense, this number's kind of small. They've made these totals look extremely small. I look up at night, and at halftime, I see 135 already up at halftime. It's just crazy the way they're flying over these totals. So I'm with you. There's really no way to play under right now. The one thing I'll say about this is a back-to-back home and home. We're going to turn around and play this same game in San Antonio tomorrow night. If you'd like to counterpunch, see what you see tonight and then react the opposite way tomorrow, I couldn't argue that. But if you're going to play tonight with Denver, you have to play over. And I will say this, just wrapping it up, Skee, is that I think San Antonio is a pretty good team. Honestly, I've been the last couple of weeks, Chris Paul seems to give them some leadership. Wembanyama gives them a star. And now that they're healthy with guys like Vassell and company on that offense, it's a pretty good team right now. So they certainly could come into Denver and win. I wouldn't want to bet it. I'd much prefer to play over simply because Denver just forces overs at this point in time. Until they get these things up to about 255 in that range, I think we've got the green light to play Denver games over.
So we're in agreement there. And these teams do play again tomorrow in San Antonio. So we'll see what they look like tonight and then adjust and play tomorrow. I did see in the chat, guys are saying Horford is ruled out. And I'm looking I see the props for the Celtics were pulled off the board. So I appreciate y'all shouting that out. I'm gonna be looking for that because I'll shut the show down real quick and make some bets. I'm all about making some money around here.
Keep your apps open.
I'm still checking. Celtics props are not up yet. So, and UCapper says Horford doesn't usually play back-to-backs, right? I can't say with confidence one way or another, but as old as he is, probably not. Next game, Grizzlies and Kings. I see the Kings opened as a 5.5 point favorite. They're down to 3.5, and the total opened 236.5. It looks like 241.5. So big move, both side and total. As far as injuries, why don't I see it? There we go. Keegan Murray is game time decision for the Kings. For this Grizzlies, he's doubtful actually. For this Grizzlies team, who's playing? That's what we probably need to figure out. No Morant, Smart, Aldama. You have Laravia, Edie, Clark, all game time decision for them. They do come into this game well rested. It is the first of a back-to-back, but they have the rest. Kings, they got a little bit of rest too. I don't trust the Kings. I feel like it's a lot of stuff going on over there. I already talked about how, the move they made for DeMar kind of ruined the depth that they had, and it's just not looking like the best fit. With all the injuries for the Grizzlies, you might not need that depth, but I just can't lay with the Kings. It's Grizzlies or pass for me in this game. How do you feel about it?
I think the jury's out on Sacramento right now, but I will say I watched them against Philadelphia the other night, Skee. They had no business winning that game. It's funny, you watch that game, there was a Philadelphia fan, I forget who, in the front row, and Philly went up like 103-93 or something with a couple minutes left, and he's telling the entire crowd to shh, and all of a sudden Sacramento scores 13 in a row and wins the game. And I will say that Malik Monk in particular looked really energized. Doug Christie is not Mike Brown on the sidelines. Doug Christie's over there like he's a player, like he's ML Carr with the towel waving, high-fiving everybody and patting them on the back. It's a different style of coach. That's why I say the jury's still out on this team. But it looks like, for the Kings to come back like that, Skee, I'll put it this way. When you're down double digits and you're the Kings and there's 2.5 left or whatever there was the other night, you don't expect them to make that kind of run with some kind of focus and motivation. Hey, we can come back. We can do it. They usually just, run out the clock and lose by 14 or 15. But that's not what happened the other night. They looked really good with effort at the end of that game, even though they were outplayed for most of it. So I'm not sure which way to lean with them right now, if that was just a 2-minute burst or if that's like a springboard into some good things ahead for the Sacramento Kings. Hard for me to play Memphis with all the absences. The one thing we know about Memphis, though, is that they're going to push. And the Kings and Philly, they got to like mid 220s the other day. If you can get to mid 220s with Philly, you can probably get to this number with Memphis. So potentially an over. I haven't played it. Don't know that I will. Like I said, I'm waiting to see a little more of the Kings because they look like maybe that win the other night could propel them to do some good things here short term.
Yeah, King's gonna have to show me, man. Show me before I even think about doing something with them. But we shall see. We shall see tonight. Last game on the slate in the association, we have the Hawks and the Lakers. Opened up Lakers -4, down to 2.5. Total, not a whole lot of movement. Open 231.5 and kind of sitting right there, actually. As far as injuries, Anthony Davis did miss yesterday. Looks like he's questionable once again. Hood also questionable. Vincent questionable. Wood doubtful. Vanderbilt out. For the Hawks, we have Bogdanovich, Jalen Johnson, Trae Young, all game time decision. Larry Nance and Zeller look like they're out. It's a lot of question marks in this game. If everybody's healthy, I would say I think the over is the right side just because I don't really. The Lakers have been back and forth for playing defense and not. Right now, they're not playing the best defense, and the Hawks can't really be trusted on that end consistently either. So I lean towards over. Once again, I'd want to make sure some of these guys are in, though. One thing that I don't care about who plays, we're betting Austin Reeves again, man. Y'all should have already woke up and hit the button. Austin Reeves over 7.5 assists. I shouldn't even have to explain it. Veno, anything from you from Hawks and Lakers?
Yeah, I really want to play the Hawks team total or 114.5. It's a back-to-back for the Lakers. But again, that injury report with LA seems to be the one that always waits till 5 minutes before tip-off, especially where AD is concerned. LeBron played hard last night. 25 shots he took, 38 points he scored, played a lot of minutes. I don't know that he can come back with that. Atlanta's been scoring like crazy as of late. They've gotten over this number, 114.5, 6 of their last 7 games. But again, a lot of question marks personnel-wise that you just can't fly in and play the game until we know for sure. Now, the line kind of indicates that nobody really knows, right? As you mentioned, it's staying the same. And I do want to let you know that I pay attention because when I was on, when we were teamed up together to do a Wagertalk show a couple of weeks ago, I know you made a point to tell me, watch that Lakers defense, Rob Veno. I remember you made sure to use my full name so that I would pay attention. And I paid attention, and teams started scoring on the Lakers again. So you're right. It's been a little back and forth with that defensive effort. And like you always say, if they don't have AD, you don't want any part of their defense. And in a back-to-back situation, I would love the Hawks over 114.5. If you could project, get there early to the table, guesswork and play, and if you get Trey and everybody, should be fairly easy. But the Hawks have been scoring really, really well as of late.
They have. Mark says double worth the sprinkle. Can't talk you off. You already know that. So that is the NBA card. We finished up. We did that 10 games and at a brisk pace. 30 minutes, 31 minutes. I think we did pretty damn good there. So about best bet time now. And Veno, I always want to ask you before you give best bet if there's anything you'd like to promote. I know you said you've been killing it since December 1st, up a little bit, 62 units, something like that. So anything you would like to promote and maybe a best bet for a show. No pressure if you don't have one.
Yeah, real quick, just on the promotional side, Skee, Wagertalk.com. If anybody watching here or that watches this show later after we tape it, if you're not a member currently over there, just go over, drop your email address. You get access to all the video work and all the written work that we do over at Wagertalk.com. As far as what's available for me, if you're interested in selection packages, college football for today is up and available. Also, early NFL plays for Sunday are up as well over there at Wagertalk.com. I'm going to leave best bet like this, Skee. I really think Atlanta team total over will be my best bet once I see the final injury report. I didn't get there yet, so I don't want to go ahead and say it out loud right now until we know for sure that they're going to get a couple of these guys in. But I think 114.5 just seems very, very low for Atlanta, especially against the Lakers in the situation that they're in. If I had to give you a secondary look, I do like the Knicks plus 4.5 against OKC. Not necessarily in best bet form, but I think the Knicks probably show up. And we talked a little bit about Cleveland as well. But keep an eye on the injury report. And I would say if you see a go there, the Hawks, even if it moves, if the total moves because guys get ruled in and you get the Hawks, I would say they're good. In my estimation, they're good up to 115.5. So keep an eye on that during the day.
There you go from Rob Veno. And before I give my best bet, we'll give a shout out to the moneyballer.com. You can see it up there on the top. It's where I use, or, while I'm capping throughout the show, I'll reference it or use it to give you guys some of these stats or trends or situational stuff that's going on. And everything is color coded to make it easy for you. So if you'd like to check it out, use promo code Skee. You'll get 50% off your first month. And then you can decide if it's helping you or if you want to keep it or what you would like to do. Other than that, I do want to, this will be a part of my best bet like we did yesterday. How about that? So we'll go right here, Splash Sports. I always tell you guys it's good because you're competing against others instead of the house. So for one of those people who has like a lot of player props, it's a 10-game slate. If you have a 4-pick or a 5-pick or whatever you do, you don't have to win the entire thing to win the bet. And that's what's best about Splash right there. They have really good DFS multipliers. I think for a 4-pick is 12 times. So good way to get paid over there. And if you use promo code PROFIT, you play 100, you'll get $50. And it'll come in increments. Like if you play 20, you'll get 10, et cetera, et cetera. My best bet for the day, we're going to Old Faithful, man. Reeves, once again, over 7.5 assists. The juice probably has changed throughout the day. If you have to have 8.5, I think that's doable too. I know it's a back-to-back, but they're still going to rely on him a hell of a lot. LeBron and him are really the two playmakers that the Lakers rely on, and I don't see LeBron, doing a majority of the heavy lifting on a back-to-back. He could, but I think it'll be Reeves still getting those minutes and doing it. Every game without D'Lo so far this season as well, he's had 10 plus. So that'll be the best bet for the show. Veno, I appreciate you taking the time to come cap these games with me. You're welcome anytime. And chat, I appreciate you guys too. A lot of good people in here, a lot of great cappers, and we all help each other make money. So I want to let you guys know you're much appreciated. I will be on in about 5 minutes with my guy, 5 Star. We'll talk a little bit of college football, NFL. So if you're interested, stick around on the channel, and I'll catch you guys over there.